throwing, but how did Adley respond to that decision? It was just kind of notable to see the franchise catcher not behind the plate in Game 1 of a playoff series. I'm curious how he kind of took that news.
Yeah, he took it fine. Mac had caught Burns' last few starts, and with the lefty on the mound against us, Adley like it was nothing.
Fifth row in the right center.
Brandon, it's probably days like this where you rely on your leaders in the clubhouse to be like an extension of you in there. Who are those guys that you depend on to be the leaders of that group?
Well, I think we have a really good collective group of guys. Guys that have been here for a while, the 5 or 6 years that I've been here, as well as Mac's been in the big leagues for 10 plus years. But guys like Santander and Ced, those are guys that have been through a lot of things and seen tough days, but also been a big part of a couple winning teams. And we got Eflin going today, who's got postseason experience and been pitched in big games before, and kind of brings a calming. He doesn't get too excited, doesn't get too low. He's just really, really relaxed in the clubhouse and on the field, and so we're looking forward to watching him pitch.
Second row on your right, Brandon.
I know a big part of your process is rewatching the games back when you have time to. What were you looking for in your at-bats, and was there anything that jumped out a second time other than Reagan's himself?
Yeah, no, I thought he mixed speeds really well. I thought we had a tough time, especially with our right-handed hitters, with the fastball in. Westy got to one, and unfortunately hit it a long way that didn't get out. But he just didn't make many mistakes in the middle part of the plate. And these guys have done a really good job with their bullpen. Acquiring Ursig at the end too. A guy we saw when he was with Oakland and shut us down there. But he matched up well, and I thought they're bringing up good stuff out of the bullpen. We just got to do a little bit better job of forcing the action, putting the ball in play, using the whole field.
Standing up by the cameras, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, you guys have plenty of young guys on this team, young homegrown talent. How impressed have you been with the job that particularly Norfolk has done getting these guys ready to be here and be on this stage?
Yeah, we've brought a lot of guys from Norfolk here the last 3 or 4 years that have impacted our team in a big way, and see a lot of these guys in the lineup the last couple of years. Before that, Mike's drafted extremely well, especially hitters, and they've done. Buck and his group down in Norfolk have done a great job of developing these guys and getting them ready.
Andy up front on your left.
Brandon, how aggressive will you be managing the pitching staff today, knowing that there's a potential game tomorrow, but you got to get there first?
Yeah, we got to win today. So everybody's available except for Burns, and we're gonna do everything we can to try to win.
Gabe, third row in the middle.
Yeah, when you guys have hit offensive lulls, you've stressed all it takes is one. Maybe a couple weeks ago, that was Santander's home run.
I stress what?
All it takes is one.
I thought you said politics.
Oh, yeah, that too.
No.
Let's not talk about Rich here. How does that challenge change in the postseason? Like, how big is that challenge when you're suddenly faced with an elimination game just a few hours after an offensive game like that?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was just a great pitch game from both sides. They beat us with a 2-out single through the 6-hole. We had a tough time scoring runs. We had a couple opportunities. It's a 1-0 game. 2 really, really good starters on the mound. We had a tough time offensively, so did they. They beat us 1-0. It's a turn the page day. It's day 2. Feel good about Eflin on the mound. We saw Lugo in Kansas City. We know he's got the 12 pitches. We know what kind of year he's had and how good he is. And we just got to scrap. And we got to battle and put the ball in play. And hopefully we can get some momentum going.
Anything else for Brandon? I'll go to Michael on your left.
In any other sport, a coach or a manager in your position would have levers to push, substitutions or play calling. In baseball, it's a little different. What kind of, what do you have left in your bag to pull out in a must-win game
I'm
like
picking
this?
a spot to onside. try to get the ball back as quick as I possibly can in field position, or run I'm going to try to be like UNLV back in the early '90s and with Stacey Augman and Larry Johnson, and try to get up and down the court as fast as possible. But besides that, I'm going to use my relievers the best I possibly can. Try to put some zeros up and try to score some runs.
Right. Anything else for Brandon? All right, Brandon. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
See you in a bit. Colton Cowser's up next. And after Colton Cowser at roughly 12:20, Cedric Mullins will be in here at 12:40-ish. How you doing? All right, Colton, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
I'll coordinate, don't worry.
Who's got the first question? We'll start in the fourth row on your right, Colton.
Colton, first hit yesterday, got the Orioles on the board, first playoff hit. How good did that feel, and how can that translate to Game 2?
Yeah, I think that I think going into the game just wasn't really knowing what to expect, nerves-wise or anything like that, and I think just getting out there and being able to get a knock pretty early on was a comforting feeling, and looking forward to bringing that in today.
First row on your left, Jake.
Colton, just overall, just how confident are you that you guys can bounce back from tomorrow and win today and still win this series?
Yeah, very confident. I have all the faith in the world in this team, and I think yesterday was just one of those days, and I think our guys, we're really confident, really comfortable, and we're looking forward to bouncing back.
Rock.
You've seen a lot of Zach Eflin now. Just how confident are you in him? Like he's the guy that you want on the mound today.
Yeah, Zach's awesome. He's one of those guys that you put full faith in. He goes out there and gives you his best stuff, and he competes every single pitch. I think the thing with him is he's around the zone, and he's able to get swings and misses and soft contact, and I think that's something that's really important in these types of games, and being able to keep offenses unbalanced.
We'll stay there with Rich.
Colt, now that you've played all of one postseason game,
I'm an expert now. Yeah.
Well, could you share your expertise and tell us how you think playing in the postseason is different than playing in the regular season?
Yeah, honestly, I was thinking about that pretty kind of last night. Just like I said, I didn't really know what to expect, but honestly, I think that it was a lot of fun. I think that it's a different kind of pressure, and for me, the way I'm viewing it as it's just kind of a privilege, and I'm not going out there trying to put too much pressure on myself or as a team. I don't think we're trying to do that. I think we're just trying to go out there and have fun and compete. I think that it's one of those things that, I think that as the game was going on, it was like, I think everyone was more comfortable. And I think just stringing together good at-bats and is something that is important going forward.
We'll stay there with Andy.
When you're against a guy like Seth Lugo, I mean, so many different pitches, just the variety there. I mean, how do you try to approach that plate appearance, and do you pick one pitch? I mean, just take me into that.
Yeah, I think that, he does have a lot of pitches, and I think that as an offense, we're just going to have to go out there and compete to the best of our ability. I think that, he mixes really well. He's around the zone. He's also, nibbles on the outside of the zone. So I think that the biggest thing is being able to control our zone and, pick out a spot and go from there. But also being, aggressive but under control.
The last row on the right, Chelsea.
Hey, Colton. I'm just curious. You have kind of an up-close view of Adley's career in the minors and now here. How do you think he's handled a year that's been maybe more of a battle for him than others he's had in the past?
Yeah, Adley's one of those guys, just not only a great player, great human being. He's very mature when it comes to things like that, and I think he's handled it extremely well. I think it's one of those years where, really good first half, some struggles the second half, but all that doesn't matter if you go out there and just have a couple of big hits here and in the playoffs, and that stuff kind of goes out the window, and that's something that he's extremely capable of.
2 rows up on your right.
Hey, Colton. How do you personally go about blocking out or putting into perspective the greater context? Whether it's what happened last year or the frustration of yesterday or the fact that the season could end today, all that stuff. Do you consciously try not to think about it, and how do you do that?
Yeah, I think you have to do your best to not think about it. I think having a short memory is, it's a pretty cliche answer, but having a short memory in this game is extremely important. And I think just going out there and just competing one pitch at a time, not really trying to, win a game with one swing, but just going out there, just trying to string together quality at-bats as a team. And as an individual is something that'll help the team win. And, I think that mindset throughout the whole year doesn't have to change going into a certain game just because, if you lose, we're done. I think that you just got to go out there and compete to your best of your ability.
1 row up, Colton.
Hey, Colton. To go back to the pressure, different kind of pressure you were talking about, does it just feel like once you scratch one run across, some of this tension will ease and you guys can play the way you want to play, loose and fun, like some guys have been talking about in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I don't even necessarily think just to scratch one. Yeah, we didn't score yesterday, but I think that as the game went on, it felt like our bats got a lot better, and I think going into today's game, we were just missing one big hit yesterday. That's all it was, and I think that we know that, and the team knows that, and I think today we're just going to go out there and try to have as much fun as we can, and those things will take care of themselves.
The last row on the left, Jeff.
Colton, depending on who you ask, Seth Lugo has anywhere between 9 and 12 pitches that he throws.
Yeah.
How do you approach someone who has the amount of variety that he does?
Yeah, like I said, I think that it's just really being extremely disciplined to your zone, and not expanding too much, and just letting him come to you. I think that's a big deal. Not try to go out and get him. Just stay relaxed and confident in the zone, and just be on time.
First row on your right, Colton.
Colton, with the offensive struggles, not just yesterday, but really the last 3 months, where does the confidence come from that this lineup can put together a complete performance? What is it rooted in?
Yeah, I think it's rooted in just the game of baseball. Baseball is one of those funny games where you can kind of go through little slumps here and there, and they can be for an extended period of time, or they can be for 1 or 2 games. The thing about postseason baseball is if you have 2 of those games in a row, you're done. But I think the confidence just stems in from the fact that we've been able to bounce back before. And, I think as a team, we have a pretty healthy mindset as a lineup. And I think today's plan is just go out there and compete, and take it one AB at a time, and try to string together as many good ones as we can.
Colton, you said earlier that even though yesterday didn't go the way that you guys would have liked, that you're still sort of grateful to be here, be in this position. Is that something that you learned this year, to sort of have gratitude after last year didn't go the way that you wanted, and this year has, to just sort of approach the game with that mindset?
Yeah, I mean, speaking from an individual standpoint, I think just the way last year went as a whole, didn't go as well as I wanted it to. And I think the offseason I had a lot of time to reflect upon that, and even going into the spring this year, and, I wasn't guaranteed anything. I was grateful just to be the 4th outfielder on the team, and being able to kind of earn this role that I'm in now. It's something that I'm not going to take for granted. The game of baseball is extremely hard, and I think that it kind of gives me a healthier mindset going into to situations like this today. It's do or die, and that's why we play baseball. Go out there and compete, have fun, and not take anything for granted.
The second row on your right, Colton.
Colton, you've said a few times talking about quality at bats. Can you kind of just pull back and tell us what that means for an Orioles hitter to have quality at bats and string those together?
Yeah, it can mean numerous of things. I think the biggest one is, just kind of getting the job done. Whether that's moving a guy over, that's, sack fly, that's long at bat, getting the pitch count up, 0-2, and then seeing like 4 or 5 pitches after that. That's a quality at bat in my eyes. A barrel, base hit, RBI, things like that. Not necessarily like, home runs are great, but I think that as a team, we string together 5-6 at-bats in a row like that, that wears on a pitcher, and I think that's, kind of how we view it.
First row on your left, Colton, Andy.
Colton, you mentioned the gratitude to even be in this position. When you consider just like a retrospective of where you were in spring training and now 25 home runs in your first full major league season, I mean, did this kind of go as well as you could have imagined, back in February?
Yeah, I mean, if you would have told me in February that this is what the outcome that I would have had as a team and as an individual, then yeah, I would have been pretty excited. Now I think that sometimes mindset and things like that get skewed just because you go through those struggles throughout the year, and I'm not going to say I was the most consistent guy, but there was definitely some low points where I would get frustrated, but I think that's a healthy reminder when you think about where I was at in February. Just to be where I am now is I'm extremely grateful and blessed.
Standing on the right, Colton.
Hey, Colton. A lot of you guys came up together through the minor leagues. How did a place like Norfolk get you ready to be on this stage and help you improve and get you ready for now?
Yeah, we had a really, really talented team last year in Norfolk, and a lot of these guys are contributing at the big league level now, and I think honestly being able to play in some meaningful games there helps a lot. I think Buck Britton and the staff down there they do a great job of kind of getting you ready, what to expect, what's going to fly at the big leagues and what's not. And I'd say the biggest contributing factor to that is just the staff down there and the communication that they have with the big league club is something that really does get you prepared for this.
Anything else for Colton? All right, Colton, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Awesome. That was fun, guys.
Oh, I'm getting waved off. Cedric Mullins should be here in about 10 minutes. Ooh, sweaty chair.
Okay, hold on. I got to kind of do that. Is that better? Good?
right, Cedric, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. We'll start in the fourth row on your right, Cedric.
Cedric, Brendan Hyde said in tough moments throughout the season, he's looking to guys like you and Anthony to kind of lead the clubhouse. You've been there before in big moments and bad moments. After a game like yesterday, what sort of things are being said between the guys to get those bats going?
Yeah, I'd say for the most part, it's continuing to stick with the plan that we come up with for, whatever pitcher we're facing. Yesterday didn't go our way, but we knew that we were in the game the entire time, thanks to Bernsey doing his thing out there. So continuing to try to not put pressure on ourselves and kind of keep that confidence that we had at the beginning of the season rolling into today.
Other questions? I will go into the fifth row on your right, Cedric.
Cedric, we just talked to Hyde and Cowser. They both seemed relatively loose. They were joking throughout the interviews. What is the vibe in the clubhouse? Would you say loose right now? How do you feel like the guys are carrying themselves right now?
Yeah, I'd still say it's pretty loose. Got guys in there relaxing, preparing for their day. A couple of guys playing pool. If Cowser wasn't joking, I'd find that concerning, honestly. So it's good to see him, continuing to be himself.
I'll go to the second row on your right, Cedric.
Cedric, you didn't have a great October last year. I know you were beat up, and there were some other factors going into that. But for you to start this postseason with a couple hits, a couple good at-bats yesterday, how much do you think that can help you moving forward?
It's great. Like you said last year, a bit of a struggle. Also first-time experience in the postseason, so I know there's a lot of factors involved there. But just really feeling as if I'm continuing to, play like I am in the second half. Just really focusing on keeping things simple, just playing my game.
Fifth row, left center, Cedric.
You've been here before last year in the postseason. How much does last year's experience help you today and beyond?
I think it's made a big difference in terms of approach and mindset, just knowing and understanding the game's the exact same. We got to go out there and do the same stuff we've done for 162 games, and in my mind, this is 164. It's a fresh start in terms of, you look up and everyone starts at zero like it's the beginning of the season. But we've been playing a full year. So at this point, it's just continuing to do what we've always done.
Third row on your far left, Cedric. Chelsea.
Hey, Cedric. I'm curious how you've seen Santander evolve over the years to the point that now he's, hitting 40-plus homers and kind of in the heart of a really good lineup.
Yeah, watching him grow as a hitter over the years has been amazing to watch. He's really smart dude, really comes up with an approach that works every single day, and something that's not easy to copy either. I've talked to him about his approach and how he goes about his business, and not necessarily recommended for everybody. It's somewhat unique, but it works for him, and it's good to see him find that.
First row on your right.
Cedric, you said when this team clinched that the losing that you guys had experienced down the stretch was not the losing the height that this team had experienced in years past throughout the rebuild. How do you feel like this year's team has responded to losing, and how does that kind of give you confidence in what it can do today?
Yeah, I think we responded pretty well. Like I said, to go into those last couple series on a high note, I think was huge for this moment, when we feel like our back's up against the wall, knowing that we have to pull out a win. So in terms of the mindset, I think it's really good amongst the clubhouse, and obviously guys like me and Tony and some of the other guys are going to continue to push on staying relaxed and staying loose out there.
Up front to your left, Rock.
So what has Zach Eflin shown you so far? How confident are you that he's the guy with the ball to do?
My confidence in him is really high. He came over and did amazing. Got off to a great start. I think he might have had one somewhat bad outing since he's been here, so my confidence in him is really high. And just to describe him, consistent. Goes out there and gives you exactly what you need, keeps you in games. It's up to the offense to take over.
The second row on your right, Cedric.
You said Tony's routine is very unique about what he does to go about preparing for games. What makes it so unique? How is it different from what you or other players typically do?
I would say more approach is different. It was like I'm not in his own head. He still does tee work and flips and things of that nature. So, in the broad scheme of things, it looks pretty similar. But, his ability to be able to hit balls like that are basically all across the zone. I've watched his power grow, and just his ability to stay through the ball on pitches that don't normally even get hit is just impressive.
We'll go to Dan in the right center aisle.
Cedric, hopefully this question grows old poorly, but last year, you knew that when the team lost, that it would be a different looking team at some points this year, and we mentioned Santander, and you also have Burns. Not sure what the situation is going to be next year. So especially with Anthony, a guy who you've kind of come up with, Austin's not here. How much, when you look at that and the beginning of this rebuild to now, how much does that play into your mindset to want to keep this going this year, because you don't know, what next year is going to pretend?
Yeah, I think we had that mindset during spring training, make it as long a run as we possibly can, just at the idea that, this group that we came up with throughout the minor leagues might not be together, and we saw Daisy get traded. We all know it's a part of the business. It does happen. But it's also been fun, at the same time to grow and develop with these guys over the past few years.
Questions for Cedric? Anything else? Am I missing? All right, Cedric, thanks so much. Good luck. Appreciate it. For the Royals, we're expecting Michael Massey at 1, Michael Waka at 1:15, and Matt Quatrero at 1:30. So Massey will be first, Waka second, which is different than the original schedule, but Massey's next at 1.